So what happens after that point of entry, right? So now we've got that. Someone requested curation on the report. Someone saw a data quality problem and wants to report. Someone's looking for a glossary definition. Someone's requesting a new report, whatever those things might be. That you want that to start a data governance workflow. And this data governance workflow, the goal of this is to route the request to the correct steward role, or subject matter experts, for creation, action, or review. So that could be, one or many of this, like the functional domain expert, like, oh, this is a question about, I see a data quality problem in the payroll report that's coming out of our Workday system, okay? So you may say, what are the roles that we want to handle data quality issues, right? And within that do we want a specific role for handling payroll or HR issues? Within that, is there a need for even additional expertise for handling with the Workday issues? And you can make decisions on how atomic you want to have those routings, but again, that's up to you. So it's going to get routed to possibly the functional expert. They may handle it all. Maybe it goes to a technical expert. Maybe it's going to policy or other relevant expertise if someone's saying, like, is this PII or whatever. Maybe it's going to some system owner to give you access on the type of request. One thing that can be really liberating on this is that you can be very atomic to make sure that things are getting routed to the exact right person once you know about that. But if you don't know, if you don't have roles, have just things routed to a general oversight group, right? Which is in the IT support area is the equivalent of like having it get routed to just a first tier support person who's going to be like, okay, let me take that request in, let me figure out who is the right person to handle this, and then they can go in and pull in some collaborator, and that collaborator does not have to be a defined steward. They could be anyone. The value of that, of course, is you're getting the expertise, but also you might be recruiting a steward and creating a new role if it makes sense. But pulling that collaborator is really useful. You have the option then to route to review or approval if needed. We recommend don't always have review or approval if you don't really care about it, but that's we'll talk about that a bit later. If you do have a real person that's being initiated by it, you can also route it back to that requester to say, depending, like, oh, is this right? Did this fix your problem? Do you understand this? Or even just to say, like, okay, we did that, or you have access now, whatever, and then you can kind of close that. And then lastly, most importantly, is like, make sure you're updating the knowledge base with whatever that was. So if you're creating a new definition, if you're adding a status, if you're curating something, that the next time someone asks that's being done. So this is just a general workflow process to, organically continue to both, generate knowledge around your data, but also to build literacy and trust and support for your data by your users, by giving them those points of entry with support.